One, and we're live.
Hey,
Yay.
folks, welcome to Wednesday on this fine June 24th. And hey, it's sunny outside here in the Ottawa Valley. It's 17 degrees Celsius this morning and going up to 26. Now that we've had our weather report, let's talk about the PBEX Phoenix Business Exchange universe. And I'm going to share a screen. And if you want to join us, come on in. The website is pbex.ca. And you're more than welcome to come in and share what type of business you're doing and what's going on. We're going to start off with first, the member of the week, Mr. Eric Sonego. He does accounting. He's with a large firm, and he deals with taxes and corporate taxes. And if you're dealing with CRA and you need to kind of arm wrestle with him, he's going to tell you your success rate. His e-card's right here, and his video is right here. And click it and have a chat with him. He's an interesting, wise soul. Monday mornings we meet at Bell's Corners, 8 to 9 Eastern. Wednesday morning, obviously today, 8 to 9 Eastern every week. Save for next week, by the way, folks. We are not meeting next week. It is the July long weekend, and July 1st. We're celebrating. It's not a long weekend. We have a holiday in the middle of the week. However, that said, we're not meeting next week. So Wednesday, 8 to 9. So the following week after next. Thursday, 8 to 9, South End Group. After Hours Group is meeting on June 30th. So that's next week. That meeting is still being held, and it's about accountability. And Penny Lee Prevost is hosting it. Upcoming member events. So if there are any events that different members of Phoenix have that are either supporting, promoting, or they themselves are holding, it'll be parked in this particular area. Canada Growth Network, we meet every Monday at 1 p.m., unless, of course, it falls on a stat here in Canada. And you notice how I say in Canada. So you can be anywhere and you still can come on in and have a chat with us. All right. Canada Growth Network, it's free at 1 p.m., 1 to 2. I'll tell you more about who's speaking next week. He's a media specialist. East Tradewinds, they're meeting on Tuesday, 8 to 9 Eastern. Still meeting next week. And it's both East Tradewinds and Canada Growth are free to attend. Bell's Corners is meeting in person and online on July 20th. That's a Monday, 7:30 a.m. So if you're going to show up and have breakfast, come on in. Doors should be open by about 7, and you can get a good hearty breakfast, and then you can just join us or come on online. QR directory for all members. If you want to know who's who, or you hear someone talking, going, I need more of that, I need to understand more of that, click here and drill into the connection. So what's with all the QR code? Well, it's all about finding us quick and easy. It takes away the friction. If you're a member of Phoenix, you get a QR code and a special link, and all your contact numbers, your contact methodology, your YouTube content. If you have a small bit of YouTube to share who you are, it's all in one place. Those e-cards have been working like little Dickens. We've got over 3,000 hits since January 9th, in fact. So those cards are getting a lot of traction. We've done over 5 million. We've done over $5 million worth of business since 2016, and year-to-date referrals. This is all about people referring between members, right? So this is not even the outside business external to us. So in other words, if Kat recommends somebody to Sam to get the tires taken care of, that's outside the box. However, this is the amount of money transacted year to date, 31K, actually almost 31.5K. All right, and I'm going to stop talking and sharing, and I'm going to let Sam do some sharing. He's got an educational minute. Sam, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. Good morning, everyone. For a change, I'm going to talk about automobiles. I had an experience because my daughter agreed to sell her car to her cousin. So I was in Kitchener on Monday at getting a safety check done on it. And for those who don't know, the Ministry of Transport now requires the mechanic to contact them before they sign over the certificate, safety certificate. And they will do an audit, possibly to check over things from on their side. They need sometimes pictures and things like that. So inevitably, the cost of the time and the cost is higher. So you're looking at a minimum of 2 hours getting a safety check done, and the cost is $250 something to get it done. Yes, the ministry charges I think $150, but the mechanic, of course, because it takes about 2 hours, they got to make some money on it. So those who buy or have a car they're going to sell and want to put a safety on it, it's going to cost you more time than money than it did last year. Those changes took effect, I think, in early June. So my timing wasn't that great, but it took a while to get my daughter to agree to sell her car since she's in Australia. So anyway, that's the information I want to pass along. If you have any questions, I'll try and answer them. But that was my experience this past Monday in Kitchener getting a safety.
Sam, it's always good to know what the ministry is up to, the Ministry of Transport, because since they don't take money for our plates anymore, I guess they're making up for lost revenue streams.
That could be.
Gouge. Ow. We're live on LinkedIn, by the way, folks, and that is the connection to post content therein. Now I'm going to swing the mic around. We're going to talk to different folks. I'm going to start off with Jacqueline and then go to Eric. Jacqueline, what is happening in your space, ma'am? Jacqueline? That the mute button is
Apparently, I need to unmute. So I'm muted. What's happening in my world? It is stunning outside. I did take a long, deep breath. I lifted my shoulders, I took them back, and I released them down. And as I exhaled, I was so excited to celebrate my birthday on Sunday, which happens to be the first day of summer, which happens to be International Day of Yoga, which happened to be the Indigenous Peoples Day, which happened to be the longest day of the year. This year happened to be Father's Day. It was a lot. It was a lot. That's why I needed to take that long, deep breath and understand that I may get calls from my clients on Monday, not Sunday, asking me about what's next. Bank of Canada did not raise. They held their rates. What's next? It is the sun's shiny and it looks like a time where I actually need a realtor like Wendy to help me buy a house. And now I'm going to refinance mine in order to have the down payment for the property that I'd love to buy with Wendy. With this weather, when you're looking for strategies for your mortgage money, you know you need to contact your mortgage honey.
any BAMs this last week?
I missed the take. I will be doing that next week.
Okay. So next week, who's speaking at East Tradewinds? You're funny you should ask that question. Is Disha Cooper. She's a fractional CFO, CEO out of the US. She helps companies get back on track. East Tradewinds, by the way, now has a website, easttradewinds.com, and you can sign up and register through that particular space. Mr. Eric Sonego, over to you, and then Wendy. Go ahead, Eric.
Good morning. Yes, soccer players drink beer. Eric Sonego from Cote and Associates Professional Corporation. We are a full gamut accounting firm in Canada and in the US. We do taxes, we do financial statements, we do corporations, we do migration from profit companies to non-profit companies. You would say to yourself, yeah, but I've already done myself. I used to be profit, and now I don't make a profit, so I must be a non-profit company. No, there are special steps for people who become non-profit. All right. So if you're like most, I think all of us here now, you are a profit-seeking company. You are in business to make profits, to make money, to not break even. You're you're in business to make money. A nonprofit corporation is a different type of thing. A nonprofit corporation, you do the work the government wants to do but can't. So let's say the government sees that there is a problem with, blind children, but it's difficult for them to get to the street level to help to help blind children. So you and your friends set up a corporation to help blind children, and you might want to run a school to do that. Okay, to give them curriculum education. So you do that, and you apply to be a nonprofit corporation. It doesn't mean that you don't make any money, but you have to make the money through salary as opposed to through profit. So you set up that vehicle. It becomes nonprofit. You have to sign a paper with the government saying that you are just going to be helping, blind children, that you're not going to do anything else. You cannot finance profit ventures from a nonprofit place. And it's done by people really who are committed to the cause. Right? So that we help people get to that place sometimes. 613-254-7310.
Eric, thank you. So just a quick nudge about July 20th, and information's in the chat. Wendy, and then we'll go to Sam. Go ahead, Wendy.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Wendy Chang, real estate broker with Century 21 Synergy and the Ottawa Housing Condo Group. So a lot of you may not know this, but I also speak Cantonese. And recently, I've been found on Google by some people who are looking for some real estate needs, and their parents are older and they speak Cantonese and they would like to speak in their mother tongue. So if you know of anyone that is looking for help in this language, please let me know. I just connected recently with a couple who are moving from Winnipeg to Ottawa, and they're nervous. And they have told their family members that they want to speak to someone in their own mother tongue. So again, there are agents that I'm well connected with who speak other languages. So it may not be Cantonese, it may be another language. Let me know and I'll help connect you. I'm a great connector of people. I wanted to say that I gave Jacqueline 2 referrals. Jacqueline, we got to nail this down. So they're great clients, and I know Jacqueline's going to take great care of them. I also sent Tony a referral as well, but I'm not sure if that followed through, so I'll catch up with you on that, Tony. And also, Tony helped my mom the other night. He actually came over late and did a tuning session with my mom, who needed some extra energy boosting, let's say. And so, Tony, I want to thank you so much for your support. I've also got ongoing business with Susan Epps, and of course, ongoing business with Kat Hurd. Thank you, Kat, for everything you do. I don't know if you know this, but Kat's taking a vacation, so she's going to be able to get some R&R into her schedule. Other than that, no other BAMs to report, and have yourself a great week, everyone.
Wendy, thank you so much. Next quick promo is Joshua Altman, who's speaking at Canada Growth Network on Monday, director of Beltway Media, and he's actually in the Beltway down in the Washington, D.C. area. He does the marketing piece or the messaging. Hey, Jacqueline, what's going on?
Well, I have this. At first, thank you, Wendy. I'm so much appreciating the opportunity to be working with your clients. They are extraordinary people. And I'm also looking for a good friend of mine. It'll be great if we had a lawyer who speaks Spanish in our network. I'm very much looking for someone who's speaking not French, but Spanish, and to deal with a mission critical situation. So I need to throw that out there because that's what we do. We refer and we find. So needed to throw that out there. Thank you.
No, Jacqueline, not a problem. And next quick promo is about Kat Hurd. Of course, obviously, while Kat's on holidays, but when she's here, hey, she handles the marketing and media messages inside the Phoenix space. Reach out to her. Sam, quick, before I pick another person, over to you.
Thank you, Bernie. Again, Sam Stores, ConnectedCars.ca. As you, this group obviously knows, I do dash cameras, do other automobile repairs, anything from oil changes to replacing parts, but I do specialize in electrical and electronics issues if you have them. And let's see, I'm going to switch right over to my BAMs. Tanya Hewitt, former Phoenix member, came to me for an oil change last week. So I was very thrilled that she's been gone from Phoenix for at least, I think, a year or 2 years now. And she still thinks of me, which is very nice. Besides that, let's see here. Wendy, we're still trying to arrange a time to get her car cleaned by me. I think it's July you're asking for now. So hopefully that'll be arranged. And Kat gave me a call just after I got here at the cottage in Port Stanley. And I think we must have talked till the batteries ran out on my phone or something. So we had a very long conversation about many things, including my background, very much what I do and how I do it. So thank you very much for that conversation, Kat. And I hope you have a great, I think, is your holiday in Greece? Where you're going?
Close, Cyprus.
Cyprus. Well, that half of
Greek.
it's Greece, half
Give
of
me
it's
that.
Turkey. So I hope you have a great time. And down there, they speak many languages, so you should have no issue when it comes to language. That was my experience when we went to Greece, that they speak, I think, 4 languages anywhere where there's tourists. So they certainly cater to the tourists, so you should have no issues. And have a great time. That's it for me. Connected Cars, Sam Sturris, today's mobile electronics without the cost of a new vehicle, and a heck of a lot more.
Sam, thank you so much. And the next quick promo, and this is an event that's happening today around 2 to 4, the Art of Negotiation. Joseph McGuire's out of Ireland. Register. Should be able to still get in. And we're going to swing the mic over to Kat and then Tony. Kat, over to you, ma'am.
Hi, everybody. So thank you to Sam for our long conversation. It was quite interesting. So what I want to know is how many of you in this room, because obviously I can't ask the people who are watching us live, but how many of you have actually got networking connections, other businesses that you know that are in your local area? Because I'm gonna hazard a guess you know quite a few people. Fantastic. I want you to reach out to them and find out what they're doing on July 9th at 7 p.m. I would like them to come to Local Heroes with you, absolutely free of charge for them. You still have to pay $10, but Phoenix will cover your guest to come and find out all about our networking group, meet our fantastic members, and see where we can go. So reach out to me. I'll send you the links and we'll get all your connections registered. Thank you, Bernie.
Well, Kat, thank you so much. Any BAMs that weren't an hour long or greater?
Well, Sam's was over 2 hours. I'm trying to think. No, I've been over 2 hours with Q. Wendy was probably my shortest, and that was probably about 45 minutes. So.
That's awesome. I actually get to learn more about people when you're having a long, wandering chat. That's good. Tony, what's happening in your space, sir?
Well, today is Sound Bath Day. So to me, there's a lot going on to set up the sound bath. You just don't need as much soap. And we're all doing it together. There's over 25 people, so I'm not even sure what that's called. But it's all regarding sound. And today what Spirit wanted to talk about was the way that we get messages. And that's really what sound baths are, and really anything. Whether you go for a reading, people want messages. Whether you're coming in like a sound bath like today, it's that people have something going on in their life that they haven't decided what they're going to do. So they're hoping for some kind of insight, some messages coming from them, because that's essentially where it's coming from. It's certainly not coming from me. It's coming from you. We're just reading it. And so there's so many. So we want to talk about a little bit about how messages come to us. Okay, I know. I probably wonder if Tony's going to talk about how we get messages. So one of the main things about trying to get it is that this is all natural. Everything that we get regarding messages is absolutely something you can do. It's an easy skill. I mean, we can teach this to kids because they already know it. In fact, when we are young, as we get older, we start losing the ability to be able to read because kids are really good character builders. If you have a building, let's say, and you want to rent, let's say, an apartment to a couple, bring your 4-year-old. And you just watch them. If they stand back and they're walking around trying to avoid them, that's not a good fit because they can feel and detect something that perhaps you're not. You're looking at the figures and whether or not they could pay their rent and so on and so on, but they're looking at it from an energy perspective. They just came from heaven just a couple or few years ago, so they are still connected to that all-source energy, that everything's open. Many of them see angels. They see Grandpa at the end of their crib or something. But as soon as they bring it out, all of a sudden, no, Grandpa wasn't there, and they realize, they're into something that other people are sort of playing down. So they start pushing it back. And that's one of the first things. So we get messages from a very early age, pretty much at birth, and it's what we do with it at that point. Of course, at our house, these kind of weird things, as people say, it's basically dinner talk. We always talk about various things that my grandson is seeing or feeling or sensing, and we saying, yeah, good stuff. Well, what else are you getting? And then now they could say, oh, you mean I could look it for more? And you can. So sound baths and these kind of things is that kind of thing. The other thing that sound baths do is that it upgrades your whole system so you can read more. And essentially, that's just a fancy word for uncovering something that's already there. It's not really an upgrade. When we go from where we are and all of a sudden we have this increased in sensitivity, we can now sense certain things. It doesn't mean you upgraded. It just simply means that something was uncovered that now you're there, okay? But we all have this sense. It's just a matter of uncovering it. And sound baths do that. They do it through frequency. That's why there's no talking. It's the best therapy ever. If you know somebody that's going through a difficult time, all they have to do is just listen to the sounds. And then they either zone out or they get into an altered state. And that's why we don't send it to people that want to get into their car and drive. So it's the whole thing here is being able to get messages. So let's look at some of the different ways that we get them. The first and most obvious one is sleep. The night before, if you're going through something and you're wondering, what should I do? It could be anything. Usually we have a choice of two things. Sometimes it's three, but many times it's a choice of two things. If you're, let's say, like when we are going through the student points where students are coming in and they're trying to select a university for the next 4 years, want to make sure it's the right one. And it's between two. Am I going to go to Ryerson or am I going to go to Ottawa U or Carleton or Ottawa U or whatever the case is? It's usually a sense of two. And you just say that to yourself. But some people will say, which one should I go to, fearing that the one that they're going to get is the one they really want to go to. I mean, do you want to go to California? There's a university there, or you want to be in Ottawa where it's minus 35. So there could be sort of an inside thing that, okay, I want the message to be California. So that's how way you answer. That's where you get nothing. You don't really get anything because you got to realize the whole point of wanting messages is that you want, what is your best path or the path that you need to be on that'll be optimal. And sometimes what we call, there's a universal correction where, let's say you want to go to California and then it says, yeah, it's Ottawa University is a great one. You need to go there. And then let's say, even with all of those messages you get, we're going to choose California. Okay? Well, something will happen to the enrollment. Something will happen to either your application was lost lost, they can't find it. Or anything that you want to send. If you have to send a deposit, it won't go through. So these are signs, and that's another form of messages that we get into. That's number 2. So different signs that we get that even if we are choosing a Dumbo move, it's not my words. It's sometimes Spirit will say, it's so obvious that you need to stay in Ottawa because their programs are better. You're just choosing California because you want to be on the beach, reading a book. Well, who wouldn't? Maybe if you get a good education, you can actually buy a place that'll be there. But for whatever reason, you need to stay in Ottawa, okay? And anything that you see, so you're going to get different signs and as soon as you get any kind of a delay or a blowback of any kind, you need to sort of stand back and say, okay, is this a message that I need to see? I mean, it's long known that in Japan, if they're signing a deal, and this could be a multi-billion-dollar deal where they've been negotiating for months and months to, let's say, amalgamate or bring some acquisitions together between several companies, more than 2, it's a big deal. And it comes time to sign, and the pen doesn't work. The pen doesn't work. Spirit doesn't want, or the energies don't want it. So they will actually walk away from $1 billion deal after working all that hard for it, knowing that there's something that they missed, and they will walk away. And even if the person that has the pen writes on it and it's writing perfectly, they give it to the person and then it doesn't work. It's not an accident. There's some reason. Now, if a person is in that sensitive state where they are sort of tuned, if they're just looking at money and they really don't care about energy and all of this stuff, the pen will work. Because fine, if you really don't want our advice or our insight, they'll let you make a mistake. So when we look at the signs of various things, so this is where, let's say we go back to the same example. Should I go to Ottawa U or should I go to California? Well, then if you just say it that way, which is the best path for me? And then you take your dog for a walk. And then you're at a crosswalk where you're waiting for the traffic to leave. And then a bus goes right in front of you and picks some people up right in front of you. And it advertises Ottawa University. People will say, oh, well, that's just a thing. That's just a coincidence. Coincidence is just a fancy word for saying you're denying what's really you are getting. And then you go a little further, and then something from Ottawa U. It could say Ottawa University Catering, or it could say something else. But it's going to be inundated. By the time you come back, you'll have what we call 6 messages of some kind that says that you need to be there. And of course, if you keep ignoring that, then it's fine. Then they'll let it go. Then that's fine. You go to California. What will happen is you'll be there for 1.5 to 2 years out of a 4-year program, and you'll hate it. And then you'll come back to Ottawa and then just have to start again. All right, so that's fine. There are a lot of people that really want to make their own mistakes rather than learning from others. People like Eric Sinego, our accountant, and they say, no, don't go in that direction because it's not going to be good. So a person that you trust, like I trust Sam for my car, I trust Eric for our books, and I trust Wendy and anything she says. When she sold our my mom's condo, she had various recommendations, and I didn't. And there was a 1 or 2 that I said, I don't know, but I trust Wendy because she does this every day. I do it once every 10 years. So who am I going to trust? So you have to trust somebody, something. And as soon as you do, everything went well. And that's why, if you just let it go and not try to interfere, the messages will come through much clearer. So all the signs that you're getting, coins on your path. When people say, oh, I really need money, I've got about another 3 or 4 days. Well, we had the 24th. I had a client yesterday says I have a week to go and I just don't have my mortgage, and I'm really afraid that I'm gonna renege on my mortgage, and then all of a sudden I'll be kicked out. I'll be on the street. I'll be selling thermometers on Spark Street. And I said, whoa, hold it now. Where are you getting all this? You get 7 days. He says, yeah, but I'm really stressed that I can't make this. So when we look at the facts, the person has been paying rent and paying mortgage for decades, well over 10 years. And it says, have you ever reneged on a mortgage in the past? He says, never. And I says, why would you start now? Like, but your mind is getting in because you're in a comfort level that is like uncomfortable. And I says, that's okay. Just let it go and it'll be there when it needs to be there. So we're going to be talking a couple of times before the end of the month for this guy, and just to calm that down. But the signs are all there, and the only thing that I'm getting is the energy off of him, and there's an energy deep down in this person that says, "Hey, it's okay. We're going to do this." On the outside, he's freaking out. So it's just the main thing there is to get connected to the inner part of you, your inner world. Okay? So when the signs say what they say, everything means something. Absolutely everything. Okay? So that's the second one. So sleep is when you say what you want to say before you go to sleep. Just say which one would be the best. And then during the night, you have 8 hours or however long you sleep. When you get up in the morning, the first thing that you want to do is not look at your phone, is just sit there for even 30 seconds and then just wait. And all of a sudden, an answer will come, or a partial answer, or a partial something. All right? So when you get those signs, when you get that coming out of your sleep, then he says, oh, okay. And it's just your way of your inner world saying to your outer world, this is what we need to do. It's not what is going to be comfortable or what you want, but it's what you need. It's always what we need. It's never what you want. Because most times people don't know what they want. They think they do, but that's not always the case. So you get sleep, you get different signs on the outer world, like coins, feathers on your path. They all mean something. Person that's looking for more money will find a dime. And you got to realize one thing. When it comes to signs, the spirit world sees 10 cents on the ground is the same as $10 million. It really is. Because when we look at our human value, 10 cents is only going to buy, I don't even think it buys a lot anymore, but 10 million buys a lot. But that is human value. If that 10 cents was gold or was platinum, it'd be worth far more. But Spirit sees it as the same thing. A castle and a button are the same thing. So when you pick up a dime and you look at it, he says, Spirit, I can need more than 10 cents to pay my mortgage. Then everything sort of collapses because to them, that was 10 million. And that's still not enough. So you got to realize that it's human value, human timing is our interpretation of whatever's around us. So when I get 10 cents, I go, oh, thank you so much. 10 cents is actually a really good omen. If you can see a lot of 10 cents that you're coming up to, it's amazing. There are times when I've gone downtown, and there's a lot of activity. There's people that are like homeless, and they're always walking around, and I'm walking up the sidewalk just out of my car, going to an appointment, and there's $20 on the crosswalk, just sitting there. And I said, okay, this is for me. Thank you so much. So there's so many signs that something is for you. The other part is intuition itself and gut feelings. That's another way of messages are coming through. As you get these gut feelings, as they say, in the pit of your stomach, you get this. Like, let's say a person says to Sam, I want to get my car fixed, but I want to supply everything. I'll bring the tire and I'll bring all the tools if I can just get a discount. And right away he's getting a little feeling in the pit of his stomach, and it's not just experience. It isn't, because if a woman or a person that is inexperienced, like a guy comes, he says, "Look, I'm just trying to save as much as I can, and so what can I do?" Sam would have a completely different approach to that. But when a person is actually doing that, something feels odd, and trust that gut feeling. If your gut feeling says, I don't feel comfortable about this, now putting it on, and it's like, or there's various examples where people will bring their own oil, or and it's the wrong one, and you find out afterwards it's the wrong one, and then they blame you for it, you know. So, but when you're hearing it, you're saying, yeah, this doesn't feel right. But then if you keep doing it, you do it anyway, then your memory will go backwards once you've experienced why you got that gut feeling. Is that, okay, that's why I got this feeling. So that's your gut saying, and it is connected to that inner world, and it's connected to the outer world. It's what we call, it does a bit of both. Those that don't really think they're intuitive, don't really work on energy in any way, they'll still get these gut feelings, because that's sort of the liaison between the real work that's going on inside of you and the what we call reality. This isn't reality. This is just what's around us. Okay? So when you get those gut feelings, trust them. And actually, there's so many sayings that say that. Trust your gut feelings, because it's a deeper level of experience and understanding. If somebody says stuff to Wendy about having her do things and she feels very uncomfortable, she's also intuitive, and she's also has this very strong gut feeling. She's connected to spirit. She knows right away this isn't going well. I've not only seen this movie, but I know this particular one doesn't feel like it's going to end well. And so she'll say, you know what? I know a fantastic realtor that you can go to. And the other person will think that they just got a great referral, but then everything changes, okay? So trust your gut feelings. The next one is what we call body messages. These are things that you're ringing in the ear, okay? Left ear gets really hot. It all depends. Some people's eyes will twitch for no reason. You know, I don't know if you've ever had that, or that you'll just feel that that you're having a hard time breathing in a certain place, but when you move, you're fine, and you go back. This is really uncomfortable here. And then I'll walk in, and I'll say, what happened? Did somebody fall in this room? You know, I had this one feng shui on the weekend, and it was another one. It was the one I did on Saturday, and as soon as I walked in the kitchen in a certain place, I had this real feeling that somebody fell. And he said, no, nobody fell here. But when they say, oh, wait a second, remember that contractor that got up on the ladder and tried to change that incandescent bulb and stuff and misstepped and he fell off and he hit his head on the counter? Oh, yeah. Well, that was like 10 years ago. The energy of that is still in the home. So when people are walking by, people still feel that energy because it's not going anywhere. It's like a hitchhiker that comes into your home and he just sits down. And you don't ask him to leave. He's just there. And he could be there for... So it's that energy that came out of the person that fell, and it's usually because of trauma. I mean, when you're coming down, you hit your head on anything, it's going to be some level of trauma. So that's a message. So when you're looking at the way your did I say my body? Yeah, the different parts of your body will feel things. So, for instance, if your knees are acting up, it means there's something that you're not trusting. So if you're right-handed and your left knee is acting up in some way, it means you're not trusting in yourself. There's something about yourself that you don't trust. So it could be something about money. There are a lot of people that don't know how to handle money, and they're talking about that, and maybe they might be coming up to maybe an inheritance or something coming up, and their knee would bother them. Well, this means you're not trusting yourself in something, and it could be anything. So when we look at the story, usually we can equate it to whatever that is. If you're having problems with your right knee, it means you're not trusting others. If you've been scammed before and feel you might be scammed again, there's this overall blanket non-trusting energy going out, and that hits your knee. Because really, as no one's asking you for anything, You can trust anybody, even if you've been duped and scammed, and you've been, people will say one thing and do the exact opposite. You've been duped in that way. You can still say, I trust everybody, because it doesn't cost anything to trust. It only costs when they ask for something and you say yes. All right? So the person comes to you and he says, can I borrow $10,000? And you look into and I said, no, I'm just not getting, my gut feeling is saying no. It's not just the fact that you probably, there's enough logistical concerns around that anyway, but there's just this gut feeling overall that is not good. But then 2 years later, when the guy cleans up his act and he's now working in his business and he's really now focused and he just needs 10,000, and let's say you have it, and you said, now I'm feeling okay, but then you still will go through your logistical thing. But that gut feeling won't be there. That's the difference. All right? It's the gut feeling that deep inside, not just from experience, because that's human. All right? That's got nothing to do with insight. That's just experience. But it's your deep down thing. I said, somehow I could trust you, but I still got to go through my whatever process, okay? The other one is environment. You get messages through your environment. Oh, you're going to love this one. I have a person recently, a client, and they are going through a point where they there's so much going on in their life is that they're not getting much traction anywhere. They are resisting almost everything that's going on, and they've been doing this for quite a few months. There's a lot of resistance, and okay, well, let's go in this direction. No, I don't want to do that. Well, let's go and try this out. There's stuff happening with his health, and they're looking at different options, and he's just resisting the whole time. And then all of a sudden, he's going through some tire issues with his car. We came out of the house, and the passenger tire was flat. It just let go of air. And then he got it fixed. And then the right tire had a problem. It was not balanced or something. Then he looked at his other vehicles, and all 4 tires were flat. And so when a person says that, that's a message on environment. Things outside of you that are trying to tell you to just relax and just go with it so there's no resistance. I mean, Sam will be the first one to tell you that if you have underinflated tires, there's a lot of resistance. That's why it uses up more gas. But as soon as you inflate it to what it needs to be, all of a sudden it runs a lot smoother. But what happens if you overinflate? Like it should be at 35 pounds or whatever it is now, Sam. I thought it was 32. But if it's at 35, and let's say you pump it up to 65, what happens to that tire? There's a good chance it might blow, which is what happened with this particular person. They had 3 tire blows in one day. One was a tractor. You know those big tires that weighs about 400 pounds and a tractor? That blew up. I didn't even know that was a thing. But that would take quite a lot of energy for it to blow up. But when you start looking at patterns, environment, that's a sign. That's a message might trying to get to you. And all you need to do, and you can do this on Google, anybody, you can just say, what is the spiritual meaning of tires? And it'll tell you. It means, a lot of resistance, and it'll just tell you everything. He says, oh, okay. So you can, there's so much that you could learn just from environment, the things that are around you that are happening again and again. If you're getting up in the morning and your clock doesn't work, so let's say it's dead, the battery's dead, all right? Then you say, oh my God, our alarm clock didn't ring because the battery's dead. Okay, so then you look at your phone, you're at 1%, almost dead, okay? Then you get into your car, not starting. When you get 2 or 3 or more things happen that way, and they all have the same sort of pattern, it's trying to tell you something. Your environment is saying, hey, you're working too hard. You're running low on your inner battery. In other words, you're tired. At 3 o'clock in the morning, you still want to get a few more emails out there. And I know there's people that do that. And when the odd time is not a deal, okay? It's when you're doing it day in, day out, weeks, months, years, and there's no end. There needs to be some point that, just get out of the house, Just relax a little bit. And people even say this. I went on a vacation to charge up my batteries. People say that, actually. They're going to charge up your batteries. So that's really what the outside is trying to tell you. But if you don't see the signs and you don't see, these are all messages that are happening. Spirit tells me so many times that we have every single person, no matter who it is, gets 150 messages a day. Every day, at least 150 messages. So whether it's what your body's tell you, or what the buses and the license plates and the numbers that you see are going on, they're all trying to tell you something. If you're looking at finding what direction to go, and everything around you is showing twos. You wake up at 2:22 in the middle of the night. You look up at the clock, or you look at your phone, and it says 2:22. And there's a pattern of twos. What's going on with the twos? And so again, you could go onto Google and say, what is the metaphysical meaning of the number 2, or 222, or 22, that kind of thing? And it'll tell you. It'll say there's a partnership that you're either imminent, or it could be your marriage needs to rekindle. It's all about something to do with you and another person. It's a partnership of some kind, whether it's business, personal, or maybe there's a partner wanting to come into the business. Who knows? But it just gives you a heads up that some of these things are, but all these signs are in front of everyone. And it's just our way of saying, does that really mean something? Like, why is it that there are no cardinals in this area? Like in our area, there's nothing. And I look up and I see a cardinal sitting on one of the planters right beside my tomato plant, and it flies away. Now, what is the odds of me looking up at a random time, when I'm looking up and I see a bird and then it flies away? It's only there for like literally 3 seconds. So if I would have looked up 3 seconds later, I would have missed it. 3 seconds earlier, it's not there yet. That's a sign. Red cardinals. What is the metaphysical meaning of red cardinals? And it'll tell you. It's your Uncle Bob, or it's an ancestor that passed away that's just saying hi. That's usually what red cardinals do. That's their job, all right? So when we tap into these things, these are the messages that we get all the time. And it starts to get fun. When people just discard them, they're just birds, they're just things with the knees, then it's you're just missing some of the really incredible things that our bodies can do. Okay? So that's a little thing about messages, and that's what sound baths are all about, is to get you in a point and you in a state where you can start getting your own messages that you can actually see and detect and then decipher. And then from there, you can decide whether you're going to do something or not. Okay? So any questions about messages? Yeah, go ahead, Wendy.
Well, first of all, thank you, Tony, always for your wisdom and your guidance. I wanted to ask about finding a dime. What does that mean? Because in this house that we're in right now, I found 2 dimes. And I found the dime on the windowsill of 2 of the bedrooms. And I left them there because I felt like, is that a spirit? Is that someone trying to give me a message to say that they're present? But perhaps you could speak to that. What does it mean? What do you think?
Well, first of all, it's all about abundance coming in. Dimes are all about connections of your ancestors connecting to you. If you find one, hang on to it. The 2 that you got, one is giving, one is receiving. So the 1 dime that you get, you put in your left pocket. That's your energy of things coming to you. Good fortune, good health, good opportunities, all things that are coming to you. So that dime would go in your left pocket. If you find another one, that would be going on your right pocket. So that if you, let's say, want to buy a bobcat, or if you want to do something, and if you said, I'm not sure because it's going to really deplete my bank account. This way, by having the abundance of spending, it also sort of silently says that it's okay because that money will be replenished because there's a cycle. We don't just spend money and then there's nothing left. It's a circulation. That's what they call circulation. Circulation in your body means if your blood's not flowing, you're in trouble. You need to have circulation. When your circulation is so low, your feet get cold, your hands get cold, you feel cold all over. As soon as you speed up that circulation in any way, whether you do dance, whether you go to the beach, or you start walking, you start raising that frequency, raising the circulation, everything gets better. Money is the same. When money starts flowing, then all of a sudden there's a circulation of money. And sometimes you don't have to do a lot. It's just a matter of keeping it moving. There are times when you need to save, but there are times where, okay, now we need to sort of circulate. Sometimes people will just hoard money, meaning they're afraid that if they let this go, there's no more coming back. And that's why there's no more coming back. People that hoard money, and if they have like $5,000 in their pocket, I've had people that have had come in and they have thousands of dollars in their pocket because they want to feel like they're abundant. Because I heard in a workshop that if you have money on you, you can feel abundant. And I says, do you feel abundant? He goes, no, because I don't want to spend it. I says, okay, well, let's work it backwards. Let's take out the $5,000 and just put $100 in your pocket. Then take that $100 and in your mind, go shopping in your mind. Go to Home Depot. That's always a place I like to go. Home Depot. Then you go to all the stores and you say to yourself, I have $100 in my pocket. I could buy that right now. I could buy it right now. I got the cash in my hand. And you mentally spend it. And then you say, oh, I could buy something. You could spend $5,000 in your mind by having $100 in your pocket, right? And people will think that that's sort of a silly exercise. But what it does is it makes you get used to spending it, that I still have $100. So in other words, there's a suggestion that even though you spend it, it's going to come back. And the more you spend, this is what they say in charity, the more you spend and you give, well, there's always stuff coming back to you. It's a cycle. The universe knows that when you give, you're going to get back. The first thing you want to say to the universe is, what can I give you? And then it says back, what can I give you? So these dimes, just going back to your example, Wendy, when you get those dimes, just say thank you very much, and you put it in your pocket, knowing that money is coming in. Because really, that 10 cents, they think is worth 10 million. And so when you look at it as it's an abundance coming in, it's a suggestion and a sign. It means, I bring in money. That's what people say, is I attract money all the time. But they don't say 10 cents. I attracted 10 cents the other day. Someone's going to say, so? But when you say, I attracted money the other day, well, good for you. You see the difference? When we put a value on something, it goes flat. If you could even say, I found $400. Someone says, so what? It's just money. But if you say, I attract money, and you do, whatever money it is, whether it's nickels or dimes or whatever, that's what it is. Okay? So I hope I answered that. But yeah, those two dimes, just put in your pocket and just watch how things will shift for you.
Okay, we've got to wrap up. No,
yeah, I know we got to wrap.
We're at 9:06.
Yeah. Okay.
You're fluid dynamic there, sir. So I'll just do my quick intro. Bernie, blog knackforbusiness.com. Check it out. You'll see the most recent chats in that particular space. Business-wise, Susan McGarry had a band with me and then did a podcast. And Carl got a referral. And closing quote is from Rumi. Fear is a guest that leaves when you refuse to serve it.
Perfect. Okay. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you.
Any insight? By the way, that's another thing. I from an ex another former Phoenix member. They got scammed, and they knew what I did. And if you have somebody that is connecting you from a bank or from outside, you can just make a quick call or just text me while you're on the phone with them and just say, look, Tony, is this real? That's all you have to say. And if I'm not in a session or if I'm not on the road or something and I can see it, I could read that right from a text. All right. So if I can help you that way, I don't even charge for that. It's just a few seconds. It's just an easy thing. So it's, but if they would have done that, I would have said, no, there's something wrong. This is not going to be good. So Yeah, thanks a lot, Eric. I got your message about the year end, so that's good. Yeah, to get that all done. So I'm glad we're finishing that. Thanks.
Bye, Tony.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Okay.